From the mountains of Gatlinburg, we are back for game 3/4, the second game that's occurring on the main field, Legion Field at Hammond Stadium, and it's a good one. The champions of the Southeastern Extreme Conference in the Freedom Cowboys from 2023 facing off against the champions of the SIFA in 2023 in the PAC Panthers. Huntsville, Alabama, and Columbia, South Carolina collide for a continued edition of the 2024 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawls. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson. A little bit of a change-up, joined in a three-man booth. Joining me up in the broadcast area is Eli Cornett, and down in the stands running the camera is Brendan Daniel. Proud to be with you in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And Brendan, I'll start with you. We saw the Providence Athletic Club Panthers, mostly known as PAC, throughout the year. We saw them all last year, and the heartbreaking loss they had in the national championship to Evangel, the win in the semi. And then we saw from afar their win in the state championship against the Augusta Eagles, who just took their loss earlier against the Tri-Cities Eagles. And not a lot has changed from the PAC Panthers because they did graduate 9 seniors, so a lot changed on that front, but they had a lot of juniors that rose up through the system, and their main 4 weapons still are the same from last year.
Yeah, you got guys like Kyler Barkley. He's a good runner, but the main guy, Cam Humans, he is going to be out there running the ball pretty hard, and as you know, it's an option play most for these PAC Panthers, but their defense is what keeps them in the game, so hopefully they can keep that up against Freedom.
And Eli, for the Freedom Cowboys as well, we talked about how they have a rushing-heavy team, and they rarely pass, but pretty much when you have a weapon like Jalen Venter, who's your go-to utility guy, you don't have to worry about it that much on the offensive front.
No, Spencer, you don't have to worry, especially since you have Logan Briers to complement that. There's a two running back system there with Jalen Venter at running back and quarterback and Logan Briers there at running back. They've also added Jonathan Callan. He's another guy I'm excited to see. Not a lot of production last year. He plays linebacker and fullback, and I'm excited to get this one underway.
We are underway. Logan Briers kicks it off. We're going to have a return from the PAC Panthers, and it's Kyler Barkley who's got the ball. He's going to weave past the special teams a little bit. He is tripped up by the kicker himself and Logan Briers, and we'll see the PAC Panthers offense start out for the first time today. Cam Yeomans, not the starting quarterback, but starting pretty much everywhere else on the field.
He's like the X factor to this team. He can do everything from tackling to interception, and as long as running the ball, you might even see him catch the ball if they pass the ball.
Had almost 1,200 rushing yards on the year and receiving almost 105 yards.
Yeah, and that Freedom defense as well. You have a bunch of guys up front. You see they're lining up in that 4-man front. They're going to overload the strong side. You see Logan Briers is right behind there at linebacker. You see Jalen Venter on the end. They're going to overload that side. Callan also on that side. They're going to bring 4 or 5 every single time. So if I'm the PAC Panthers, I need to get this ball out quick.
And they do get it out quick with a carry up the middle. Weaving through the defense, Chance Lamb, another one of those great weapons for the PAC Panthers last year. He carries it up the middle, and a huge gain in Freedom Cowboys territory.
That's another key player I forgot to mention. He is the big reason why this team has won and been successful. He helps a lot and is a big distraction for this PAC Panther team.
And for the Freedom Cowboys, that was just a break up the middle. The PAC Panthers offensive line had a big hole right there. Venter got sealed on that, and then I believe number 18, Elijah Brown, also got kicked out, so that created that big lane. So if I'm Freedom, I don't like to start, but you have a chance to pick it up right here.
Chance Lamb, the starting quarterback and one of the starting fullbacks, running backs for the PAC Panthers, and how incredible he's been. Even gets some moves on defense with 17 tackles last year and a couple other defensive maneuvers. It looks like we got a false start.
Looks like Jalen Venter might have jumped on that, causing the offsides. Looks like they're going to move it up. Looks like it was offsides on Jalen Venter there.
And they actually did call it offside. Sometimes it's very split second on that to make that determination, and moves it up 5 yards just outside the red zone for the PAC Panthers. And they'll fake the handoff. Here goes Chance Lamb again. He'll get stuffed for a gain of a couple yards, bring up a 2nd and 3. PAC Panthers last year, you mentioned they were conference champions, #1 seed in the SIFA. They had a forfeit win in their semifinal against the Coastal High School Hurricane, or I beg your pardon, the Coastal Homeschool Hurricanes. And that helped enable them to head to the NHSA semifinal. They won 38-24 in a tight game against the Tennessee Heat. And trying to get vengeance from last year. Here's a carry to the left side. Sean McNulty, so dangerous when he gets the ball, and it's proof right there. The first touchdown of the game is at the hands of the senior.
And that's just that confusing sweep play right there. It looks like an option, but then you have the other guy coming through, grabbing that ball, and just Blacker's just taking care of everything.
And Jonathan Callan right there playing linebacker gets kicked out on that run, causing McNulty to get the edge. If you're the defensive end right there, I believe that was number 9, Jalen Venter, your do-it-all guy. He got sealed as well, allowing McNulty to get around the edge. So you really got to set the edge right there, allow that that linebacker to come in and fill that gap. Just a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a breakdown there for the Freedom Cowboys.
2-point conversion attempt. Neither of these teams have field goal kickers, and trying to plow to the goal line. The signal is he made it. A great effort there by Cam Yeomans to push through to the goal line and makes it 8-0.
You can even call it the brotherly love push, because I saw a couple offensive linemen up there pushing them in, try to help them as much as he can.
I believe that's what we call the brotherly shove, or at least the Philadelphia Eagles do. Many people have tried to mimic it, and it was successful there with getting into the end zone for an 8-0 lead. We'll see how the Freedom Cowboys can respond. And you mentioned it on that big runaway, Eli. That was just a gap in the Freedom Cowboys defense, which is very abnormal.
Very abnormal. Freedom Cowboys are known for playing hard-nosed defense, being able to fill gaps, not allowing minimal rushing yards for everybody. I believe last year in the SEEK championship, they only really allowed one 20-yard plus run for the Tennessee Heat. So it's something you don't see very often for the Freedom Cowboys.
And we've already got a score on the East Central game, 7-0, leading over Harvest Christian. And it looks like they've got another breakaway looking on this picture-in-picture monitor here. I believe Harvest Christian in the gold helmets, and looks like a touchdown to immediately match it with East Central. We'll give you updates on that as we go along, but you could split screen those games here on YouTube. Here's an attempt to kickoff return. This one going up the Freedom Cowboys. They have Javon Barnes, the senior, who carries it up, and that will get us to see the Freedom Cowboys for the first time today. In Brendan, we've seen the Freedom Cowboys for the last several years, not just in Florida, but in the stint we did in the regular season in 2021. And certainly they've had stars throughout the years and a lot of great players, but what is most impressive is their senior leader in Logan Bryars.
Yeah, Logan Bryars is one of the big key components to this team, and he's going to do a lot of damage, probably running and if maybe even passing the ball.
He did pass it several times, 30 for 37 for 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had 93 rushes for 529 yards and 9 rushing touchdowns on the 23 campaign. And they face a 1st and 10, their first offensive drive. And it's a muff snap by Jonathan Callan, and he gets tripped up at the 35-yard line. They get brought back, and that'll be a huge loss on the play for the Cowboys.
As I mentioned, for PAC Panthers defense, you can't make any problems like that, any mess-ups or anything like that, because they'll make you pay and they'll come for you.
Yeah, and a very abnormal thing to see, a bad snap. Freedom's also always had a good offensive line. They've had guys funnel in and out for that offensive line. So very, very abnormal to see. Also very abnormal not to see Jalen Venter playing quarterback, splitting them out right now. Looks like Jonathan Callan's getting started quarterback today.
Yeah, the sophomore getting the starting nod there. It's usually Bryars or Venter in that position. So Coach Collins trusting his sophomore at the helm. And here's the keeper up the middle by Jonathan Callan. And there was looked like almost a shove after the play by Jance Lamb. No flags thrown. Looked like it was maybe bang on there, nothing intentional too, and it brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, here comes Logan Bryars into the game. This is the guy. This is the guy we've been waiting for. We've seen Venter in the last two plays not really doing anything. Callan on that last run. But here's your leader. Here's your leader. Here's your vocal leader in Logan Briers. He's the one that gets his team up. He's the one that amps them up before the game and during the game. It's your do-it-all guy. You got a good two backfield in Logan Briers and Jalen Venter, and you're about to see one of the main guys right now in Logan Briers.
About a 3rd and 14. Callan under pressure. He's going to toss it right before he gets taken down, and good coverage for no pass interference by Kyler Barkley. The pass intended for Nathan Brown, and a 4th and out forced by this PAC defense.
And you also got to be worried for Freedom Cowboys. That was a little scary throw up there. If he would have got hit, maybe it would have thrown a little less, and maybe Briar would have got that interception like he usually does.
Still got a score of 7-0 in favor of East Central on the lower field right now. And they got the scoreboard working up, so we can give you times on that right now. It says about 9:45 and winding down in the first quarter. Have a little bit of a faster game going here at field number 1 as we reach about the 7.5 mark. Almost a blocked punt by Ashton, beg your pardon, that was Evan Patterson who almost blocked it. And the Freedom Cowboys will touch it down. That was by Javon Barnes at the 35-yard line, and we'll see the PAC Panthers offense back to work.
And if I'm the Freedom Cowboys, they gotta clean a few things up. They're bringing 4 or 5 every time. They really got to get after. I believe was it Yeomans getting the start at quarterback, or was it?
The quarterback is usually Jance Lamb is their main guy who starts at least
Chance
in the
Lamb.
game.
They got to get after him. All right, they got to get after him. They got to set the edge. McNulty on that last sweep there. They got to set the edge. So they really got to clean things up. Logan Briers and Jalen Venter, they're all out there. They got to lead these guys. Also in the middle, you have, I believe, in the middle is Colton Taylor, and I can't see the number.
Here's the fake. This one to Jance Lamb on the keeper. He's brought down in the backfield. Tackled by Jalen Venter. Yet on defense, he does stuff so well, Brendan. He had 40.5 tackles last year, 5 sacks, had 3 fumble recoveries, an interception for 35 yards. And, again, that's just on defense.
He just got a good little swim move there. Just got off right at the edge and got the guy right where he stopped in the tracks.
Like I was saying, they're trying to figure out what their interior defensive line is going to look like. You have Elijah Brown and Colton Taylor starting at defensive line. You had 2 All-Americans last year. I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but you had 2 guys who've been playing the interior line for a long time, and these guys got to step it up a little bit.
The rush up the middle by Yeomans, and it got up to about the 39-yard line. Gained back some of the lost yards on there for a 3rd and 6. Jacob Kinney, the defensive coordinator for the Freedom Cowboys, under the direction of Kyle Collins at the head coach and offensive coordinator side. They've also got on special teams Kevin Gochman. Remember the joke we made a couple of years ago in Florida when we were doing the interview with the Freedom Cowboys, and Gochman was in the audience. We were talking about, is there a field goal attempt? Because there are several players at the time who could do that. Is there a field goal in the playbook? And Coach Gochman said, it's always in the playbook. He was just very short about it, but said it's anything is an option in the playbook. As here's another option for Jance Lamb. He'll be stopped short of the line to gain. Looked like a generous spotting there by the side judge, and that'll be the referee who rules it a first down.
And that's just a great push by the offensive line with the PAC Panthers. They're really winning in the trenches against this Freedom Cowboys, which is really unusual.
Yeah, what's also unusual, Brendan, is a bunch of missed tackles by this Freedom defense. They're not usually known for missed tackles. They're one of the best tackling teams. You could say probably an 8-man. They're always very disciplined. They're coached very well to tackle. So seeing them miss this many tackles is very unusual.
New set of downs on the 45-yard line. PAC Panthers driving down. This is handed off to Sean McNulty to the left side. finally wrapped up by the legs and gets across midfield. That tackle will be credited to the Cowboys. Elijah Brown, the senior, who had 27 tackles on the year last year, keeps it to only a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and that's something you don't see very often either. Jalen Venter missing a tackle right there on the edge. He set the edge very well on that, but he was able to cut back on that. McNulty was. So good 2nd and 5 here and see what they do.
I would say keep running up the gut. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
This one is 2nd down. Keeper again, Chance Lamb, and he'll get to the line again for a 1st down.
Julian Harden at this defensive end on the side closest to us on the boundary side, he just keeps getting kicked out. That's why that sweep with Chance Lamb is working every single time. He's getting kicked out, but that linebacker, Javion Brown, he's not filling. He's not getting downhill. He's not coming to the point of the attack. They keep going side to side. When you're playing linebacker, Spencer, and you have fast flow to you, you're supposed to be hitting that gap now. You're not supposed to play side to side. You're supposed to find your gap. You already know what your gap is. Play your assignment. Get downhill. So it's kind of a miscommunication there, mistake by Julian Harden on that, but Javion Brown's got to fill that right there.
And here's another carry up the middle by Jonathan Callan. Goes up for a gain of about 5-6 yards to bring up a 2nd down. And this Freedom defense under the leadership of Jacob Kinney, usually, like you mentioned, they only allowed a 20-yard gain at the maximum for the Tennessee Heat in the SEAC championship last year. But regardless, you can not allow burst plays, but if you keep allowing these, as James calls it, dink and dunk plays, it eventually catches up to you.
It catches up to you, and then they're going to break one. I mean, if it's not, like Brendan said, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So you're getting here about 6 to 8 yards a pop average right now. So they really, Freedom's got to get toughen up here and stop these big runs.
High snap and tripped up. Freedom almost falling on it. It looks like the Cowboys have recovered it, and it is Freedom with a big stop and recovery. The freshman in Julian Harden with a fantastic positioning, and Freedom forces the turnover.
Just a bad missnap by PAC Panthers. You rarely see that on this team. I'm sure they'll get to talking to the center and get that fixed out.
And yeah, if you're Freedom, that's a break. That's the break you needed. You've been getting it run down your throat for the last 10 minutes of this ball game. So you really that's a break. You just gotta, now they're taking a timeout. Just talk to your guys. Get them a little bit of confidence. It's the first game of the year. Nerves are running high. You have a bunch of kids who have never played before. They've only played minimal amount of snaps last year. So you really got to talk to your guys and get those nerves calmed down.
For the Freedom Cowboys, who use their first time out of the half with 2:49 left to go in the first quarter. Or actually, I beg your pardon, the PAC Panthers use that first time out as they try to think things over with the Freedom Cowboys taking it over. PAC Panthers had a chance to think it over, burning the first time out of the half. Going to rethink things as a new set of downs, 1st and 10 on the 46-yard line for the Freedom Cowboys. And they will hand it off this time. And looked like Jalen Venter slipped a little bit on the turf. James would say the turf monster got to him as he maybe got a yard gain on the play, second down.
Yeah, just a slip there. Turf is always hard to run on. It's kind of a slippery slope. Turf monster is always out there to get you. But, yeah, he had a lane there, so good job by offensive line. Hopefully they can break one next play.
And if on the defense, I'm kissing the turf and saying thank you, Turf Monster, for your contribution to the team.
You ever slip on the turf? You ever play on turf during your days, Brendan?
Oh, yeah, and like I said, I always kiss the turf whenever it helped.
Here's a 2nd and 10. Fake the handoff. It's a keeper. This time it's Venter who kept the ball going up to the 40-yard line for a gain of 6.
And that's what they're used to. Venter's used to going around the edge. He's not used to going downhill. So good job there getting around the edge. Good job on the read option. Defensive end crashed on that. Easy pull, easy read, getting around the edge, setting up a 3rd and manageable for the Freedom offense.
Just a perfect leg tackle. And these guys are very solid when it comes to tackling, so just know that they're not going to miss any if able.
4 yards to gain. And they'll give it to Venter again. And just a normal strategy on the keeper. And I believe they rule him short, maybe just at the line to gain. And they will give it, looks like a signal initially is the 1st down. Yep, they signal for the 1st down.
And Venter's not looking like he's 100%. He's not running as hard as we are accustomed to seeing him run. Something might be up with him, but looks like Logan Bryars is going to come back into the game. So we'll see if Logan Bryars can get something going here, as Venter does not seem to be 100%.
And the PAC Panthers defense, they're just going to have to figure out how to get some help in there. I think the linebackers are going to have to come in a few minutes just to help out, so they're not getting any penetration.
Got a 1st down on the 36-yard line, this time to Logan Bryars, and he gets tripped up. Gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. He's tripped up by his fellow number 1, Kyler Barkley.
And Freedom's been able to get runs downhill. They're able to get to that through that 1st level, but they're not able to get to the 2nd level. They're not able to make that man miss. Because PAC's coming up making tackles, you got to make that man miss to break those long runs. You're only getting 3 or 4 yards a pop, as PAC is able to get 6 to 8 because they got athletes, but Freedom does too. So you're going to have to use your entire skill set to beat the PAC Panthers defense.
The problem with that is the PAC Panthers defense is very, very well coached, and they know how to tackle without any misses.
Keeper again for Jonathan Callan. He'll head up for gaining another couple of yards to bring up a 3rd down and 1. Again, this is what we've seen throughout most of the history of the Freedom Cowboys, is just these smaller yard gains to still get the 1st down, slowly march down the field, and it also plays into controlling the tempo, but we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. 1 quarter down, 3 more to go, an 8-0 lead for the PAC Panthers over the Freedom Cowboys, but Freedom is marching on the door of the red zone. We got two games going on right now here at Rocky Top Sports World in Gatlinburg. They're called the Clash of Palmetto-Dixie between Huntsville, Alabama, and Columbia, South Carolina. In this one, East Central and Harvest Christian from those respective states. Nice hurdle there by Logan Bryers, and it looked like the ball came loose, recovered by the Cowboys, and lucky he didn't get called for a flag there, because usually with hurdles, if you have any contact with your opponent, it's an immediate flag.
You got to keep that ball high and tight.
Yep.
You got to keep that ball high and tight, Logan Bryers. Come on, man. This is one-on-one. Keep that ball high and tight. Good hurdle, good effort. Logan Bryars is a very good athlete. Not used to seeing him hurdle like that, but he's a great athlete. So Jalen Venter back in the game.
East Central leading 14-0 over Harvest Christian right now. It says 4:39 left to go in the first quarter down at the South Field. That game also live here on 8-Man Extreme. Split screen those games if you feel like it, and just mute and unmute as each of them have breaks. This is a pitch forward to Jalen Venter, and he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And you see Evan Patterson, the junior, really excited that he's getting the stop there.
He's just able to get that tackle. He stayed solid and wrapped him up pretty tightly and had nowhere to go.
You're not able to get around the edge right now if I'm Jalen Venter. I'm getting a little frustrated. The O-line's not getting down. That PAC Panthers defensive line is getting penetration almost immediately. So what I you saw that motion there. He motions in, he motions back out. I would go counter here. Go counter. They're known for their counter double pull. The wing and the tight end will pull on that, setting up a good counter there, so look for that.
There's a fake to Venter. He's going up the middle. And even trying to go on the edges, you try to go up the middle. The defense is right there to meet Jalen Venter. Gets a yard gain from it, but this PAC defense is reading right through him.
Yeah, but they kind of went the wrong way at first, but then they had enough people where they could get that stop in, and they're probably going to have to work on that. They looked like they were about to sit in the house, but they just got to figure out who goes where and how to keep it contained.
I think I just said the double pull. They just ran that. That's their bread and butter. That's what they want to do. They want to try to get Jalen Venter up the middle or cut to the outside. He's going to be reading that tight end's butt. That tight end puller, that's who he's reading. So you can go downhill or can cut outside, and once he gets on the outside, that speed is deadly.
Venter alone in motion, and they'll fake it there with the toss over. One of the few throws you see almost a catch by Logan Bryars, trying to dive for it, incomplete.
Yeah, and that's a rare Freedom pass that you'll ever see. Freedom rarely throws it. They usually throw it 30% of their offensive snaps throughout the game. So really rare, setting up that middle halfback screen. Venter coming out of the game, going spread formation, which is kind of different for them with the wing on the right. So look for a pass here. It's 4th down and long. A pass is inevitable right here.
4th and 9. Freedom Cowboys do not have a field goal kicker, going for it deep in Panthers territory. Alone in the shotgun. Callan looking for the option corner of the end zone, and a incomplete pass. It was Javon Barnes who tried to go with the outstretched hand, and good coverage by Jance Lamb, starting quarterback, being a cornerback as well. And you also saw a good showing of sportsmanship there, helping Javon Barnes up when he was falling to the ground. Turnover on downs. PAC Panthers back on offense.
Yeah, and Callan put a little too much on that. He kind of he slung it in there, air mailed it just a little bit where Javon Brown couldn't get it. Again, good defense. Like Brendan had said, the defense is really sound for the PAC Panthers.
And they're getting a little penetration. He had plenty of time, but great coverage by the quarterback. He knows to watch for the quarterback himself. So that's how he countered on that pass.
PAC Panthers used their second timeout of the half to stop it at 9:18 in this first half. Already have 2 games down for the Panthers wanted to get any sort of drive going at the end of this quarter. Only got one timeout to work with.
You only got one timeout to work with, yeah, but you're comfortable. You're controlling the clock. You're controlling the line of scrimmage. They're able to march down the field. Just a mistake with that botch snap last time, but otherwise they've been pretty comfortable running the ball.
Keeper on the right side for Lamb. Lamb trying to sneak up. He's got a first down and change. Get past the 35-yard line to move the sticks.
Yeah, and the Freedom Cowboys defense, they're lining up strong to the right side. They're going away. So every single time PAC is seeing that overload on the right or left side, wherever the strong side may be, the PAC Panthers are running it weak. So if I'm them, I would go away from where they're running it. So for example, they're running it to the boundary every single time. You need to line up the overload on the other side to stop Chance Lamb right there.
First and 10 on the 35. Keeper up the middle again for Lamb. Gets tugged down by the jersey at the 37.
Yeah, and this offensive line, Brendan, they're doing their jobs.
Oh, yeah, and especially the key blocker that is already in front of him. He just knew how to pick up a guy, and they're very in sync. They know who to pick up and who to contact.
And again, they're going to Harden. They're going on Harden's side. He's the weak side defensive end. They're going to his side every single time. They're kicking him out. He's getting kicked out of the play entirely. So like I said, if those linebackers need to come down and fill that gap, because that's where they're going every single time, they found their matchup and they like it.
Second and 7, another keeper up the middle, pushing through the defense is Jonathan Callan up to the 42-yard line, a 3 yards to gain to get to the first down marker.
That misdirection snap is so hard to read. You don't know who's going to get the ball when, and it's just all up to the lineman and the runner to read his blockers and go where he needs to.
I beg your pardon, that was Cam Yeomans who carried it up the middle, mistaking the threes on the field. And Cam Yeomans on the rushing side, again, he had 1,200 rushing yards last year, so it's trying to stay on trend that pretty much any time he touches the ball, he's getting you a first down. As this is another keeper. This time it's trusted Sean McNulty, another great rushing weapon for the PAC Panthers, and with that gain moves the ball into Cowboys territory.
Like Eli said earlier, they're just pushing the ends out the way, giving them free space. He had nothing but green grass in front of him. He got the first down and more.
Yeah, that's not, we're not used to seeing that with Freedom. Like I said earlier, missed tackles. You had 2 or 3 right there. So the linebackers really got to fill their gaps on that. That's basically what's killing them. This PAC offensive line is destroying this Freedom defensive line right now. So they got to kind of go back to the whiteboard right now. But this is kind of the game we expected. This is the game we expected, a game about time of possession. And right now, PAC Panthers are winning that battle.
From the 41, tried to do some trickery there, but the Freedom Cowboys defense not having any of it. Logan Bryers tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. And that was Yvonne Barnes and company as Kyler Barkley was trying to go up the middle.
And that was a little slow to develop. It looked like he didn't know if he wanted the ball or not. But, man, that Freedom defense, they did their job on that one.
Yeah, that was Colton Taylor making the tackle for loss right there. That's what you need. So Colton Taylor getting back there, that gives you a little bit of confidence for that Freedom defensive line getting back there and getting that big play.
Colton Taylor had 24 tackles on the 23 season, 19 on his own, 8 assisted, and he had 1 sack as well. Second and long. Toss right side. The catch is made. Immediate tackle by Javon Barnes. Reception got past the original first down marker as it doesn't look like Chance Lamb was shaken up that much on the catch. I beg your pardon. Didn't look like Samuel Cargo, the senior, was shaken up that much.
What a rare occurrence is the pass, but When they do it, it works, and I'm pretty sure they're probably about 70, if not 80%, able to pass the ball and get a first down.
Yeah, and that's what the PAC Panthers are used to running the ball. So these freedom corners got to stay alert. They got to stay awake. Javon Barnes got beat on the inside on that. When you're playing corner, you got to be, whatever you're playing off man coverage, you're either 2 to 3 yards off, 5, 6 yards off. You gotta get your depth. You got to read the receiver's hips, and you got to stay on top.
There's Yeomans plowing through to get a first down. Literally just mentioned, most of the times when he carries the ball, he's going to get you first down yardage and plows through to the 30.
He's such a hard runner. You see as soon as he gets the ball, them shoulders are down, and he's just going hard, ready to truck anybody. And Freedom Cowboys, is going to be tough for you guys to tackle.
Yeah, this defensive line looks like they sub Colton Taylor out for Sam Trotter, number 72. He's kind of your bigger defensive lineman. He's going to be kind of your big run stopper right there. So you got to fill that gap. Do your gap assignment. That's kind of what's killing the Freedom Cowboys right now. They're not playing their gap assignments, and that's allowing Yeomans and McNulty to break free right now.
Another 1st and 10. Another keeper. Lamb to the left side. Swallowed up by Nathan Brown.
That's just another key block by, I believe, number 28. He just got that one in, pushed him out the way, so it canceled him out to get that tackle and able to get a few yards.
And those defensive ends are struggling right now. They're struggling. They keep getting kicked out. I've said it 5, 6 times already. They're getting kicked out, which means the linebackers got to make up for it. They got to fill their gaps. Again, gap assignment, gap assignment, gap assignment. They're not playing their assignments, which is, again, something you're not used to seeing Freedom do. So right now, you just got to straighten things up. Right now, you just need to hold them. You got 4 minutes left until halftime, so you got to get a stop here to feel good going into halftime.
East Central leading 21-0 against Harvest Christian on the lower field right now, an 8-0 score for the PAC Panthers. Lamb trying to knock on the door of the end zone, gets inside the red zone just outside the 15.
He probably wasn't really thinking about the end zone. He just won that first. It's always team first with this team, and I love to see it. And they are working their butts off to get that first down.
And Logan Bryars was there for that tackle, but he over-pursued it on that one. He didn't break down. He didn't track. He didn't do probably what he was coached. He over-pursued it, overran it, and that's what allowed that PAC Panthers first down.
Lamb last year, 149 carries for almost 1,100 yards and 14 rushing touchdowns. You can tell with two of their star running backs, almost about 2,300 rushing yards. You can tell what they favor the most, as this time Patrick Bennett as the quarterback gets the reception to his receiver. The touchdown is credited to Jance Lamb. A little bit of trickery as PAC goes up by 2 scores.
Shout out to the offensive line, giving him plenty of time to find a wide open guy. He found his guy, and just an easy walk-in for a touchdown.
And that's what I said. They've been running the ball over and over and over. It means your secondary cannot go to sleep. Eli Carr getting beaten there on that route made by Chance Lamb. So your corners can't stay. They can't fall asleep. So good play there by PAC. So this Freedom offense got to get something going here for the last 3 minutes.
And the 2-point conversion attempt, no good. Swallowed behind the back of the line, and 14-0 the score here in the second quarter with 3:04 remaining. Freedom Cowboys have yet to answer the PAC Panthers. A little bit of an extended break. 3:04 left to go in this first half. I'm not sure if the Freedom Cowboys formally called a timeout there. It felt like they may have with how long the break was, but PAC Panthers go up 14-0, and a little bit of an onside kick that has gone 10 yards, and it goes through the hands. It's PAC Panthers recovering it. That is Kyler Barkley getting on the ball, and the PAC Panthers capitalize on. It didn't look like it was intentionally an onside kick, but they capitalize, and PAC is back in possession of the football.
Yeah, PAC's back in possession of the football. Javion Barnes went right through his hands, and I believe that was Kyler Barkley that was able to fall on it. So if you're Freedom, you got 3-4 left to go. You got to play defense now. Come on, play defense.
That's where special teams on. So you got to fall on that ball. Once you miss it, you got to track it and then just fall on it. There's no excuse for that.
And we were talking about this at the break. You can tell Coach Collins was a little irritated. He just swapped the cap back. We were talking about how he put on the backwards cap, which I guess is a change of motion. He just swapped it back. But yeah, him and Coach Gokman have been with the team for many years. Coach Gokman, the athletic director for the Freedom Cowboys, and you could tell they were very frustrated with the way things have gone thus far. As Jance Lamb to the left side is going to go over to about the 33-yard line. You could also see the frustration from Briers and looks like it was Elijah Brown. Both were missing that tackle.
Yeah, they got that one. Elijah Brown got stonewalled, and then Logan Briers ran right into it, and that allowed Chance Lamb to get the outside cut up and get that chunky yardage right there.
I'm just going to go back to the coach's hat twist back. Wouldn't you guys equal that to, like, when you're playing video games, you're kind of hunched forward when it's really crunch time, you're trying to get it in?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, when I'm Ball State on the road and I'm playing Ohio State, I gotta flip the hat back, man. If I'm down by 2 or 3 scores, I got to flip that hat around.
Shout out last week at Media Day to James saying to ask every one of the players, what would you rather have, Player of the Week or a copy of College Football 25? As McNulty goes up the middle, gain of a couple of yards. He'll get just about 3 yards short for the third down, but James saying to ask all of them, and within the first 2, we realized, oh, wait a minute, these are kids who are in there or who are not 18 yet. Of course they have a copy of college football.
Looks like Eli Carr is down on the play.
And that's not good. You're seeing that with an injury for Eli Carr, the senior, who's already clinching. He was a good impact last year, 15.5 tackles, 4 interceptions, 7 carries on the offensive side, 1 catch, and you hope that it's just a cramp that he's having as the training staff goes out to look at him. We will step aside. Always a good sign when you see a player at least standing up and getting off of the field, but not a good sign when you're seeing him hobbling. Now hobbling on his, looks like his right leg is what's giving him an issue. And you were mentioning it almost looked like one of the players fell on him, not intentionally certainly, but just a football play and unfortunate part of the game. So you hope that the senior is okay as the day goes on.
Yeah, it looks like McNulty just fell on him on the last play because McNulty's a big boy. That's going to pack a big punch. So now you got number 16, Jeremiah Butler, now coming in at corner. So Looks like he's going to replace Eli Carr for right now.
Freshman getting in on the backside, and that's another credit to the Freedom Cowboys of how similar to the Evangel Lightning of where they have so much depth, or similar to other teams, you've got a whole lot of depth on the rosters for both of these teams. Same with PAC too. They pretty much have the same roster numbers. As that's carried up the middle by Jance Lamb. He gets stopped for a loss of 2.
And that's Logan Briers filling the hole right there. That's what we're used to seeing from Logan Briers, getting downhill, making the tackle. So you got 2:22 left to go. Clock is running. Freedom does have 2 timeouts left. So if I'm here, you have I believe it's 4th down. So I would stop him here, take that timeout once you drive down the field and make it a 1-score game.
And if I'm PAC, I'm just breathing. I'm just sticking to my game plan. It hasn't messed me up so far, so keep it moving.
2 minutes remaining in this first half. Here goes Bennett to the right side. He gets brought down. Logan Briers saying, I'm not going to allow any of that. And you can tell how excited he is.
And there's the Logan Briers we're accustomed to seeing every day, or every week, week in, week out. So let's see what they got cooking here. They got 1:52 left to see if Jalen Venter, Jonathan Callan, and Logan Briers can get this Freedom offense moving to make it a 1-score game going into halftime.
Impact for the wide receivers. They just got to get open. That's just great defense on Freedom's side, able to cover everybody and get to the quarterback.
And the benefit with it being a turnover on downs, they didn't have to burn a timeout as well. So 1:52 left for them to work with.
Yes, they got 2 timeouts left, so let's see what we're going to do. Venter splitting out wide here with Nathan Brown. So let's see what they cook up here. Let's see what Coach Collins has got in his bag.
1st and 10. You got motion. And just another keeper going up the middle. This time it was.
Take the timeout.
And this time they had the carry up the middle. That was Jonathan Callan. He had the option behind him of Venter. Chose not for it. You're talking about one-sided games. East Central 28. Harvest Christian 0. With 5.5 left to go in their first half. We at least have somewhat of a closer game here with 14-0. The Cowboys are driving down.
But that clock is running. You got to go if you're Freedom.
Shovel off to Venter. Gets through the defense. Venter has got to the 49-yard line. He's got 3 yards to gain, and you're still waiting for if there's going to be a timeout or not. And you mentioned it. They have 2 left. PAC has 1.
Yeah, you got to go if you're Freedom. You got almost under a minute now. You got to go. You got to snap the ball, get set.
Instead of shoveling it off to Venter, it's a 4th down, back to the line of scrimmage, and there's the timeout called by Coach Collins. Maybe he was hoping that they would get the 1st down and be able to get a stoppage of play there to call something quick, but 55 seconds left as Coach Collins is going to think it over.
Yeah, you got to think it over here. If I'm Coach Collins, you're thinking a rare Freedom Cowboy pass here. The run game's not working for you, not able to go up the middle. You have that PAC Panthers defense clobbering it up right there. So if I'm Coach Collins, I'm looking for Javion Brown or Nathan Brown, or Javion Barnes, and Nathan Brown to get open here. Maybe even Logan Briers or Jalen Venter out of the backfield to try to get a good chunk play with 55 seconds left, setting you up for a good, manageable position to score, make it a 1-score game going into halftime.
And if I'm PAC's defense, I'm just going to sit back a little bit for that pass, but I'm also going to probably send one more guy in just so I can get the pressure on that quarterback.
And you mentioned how usually the running game isn't working for him. It's interesting how Logan Briers isn't passing it. He was 30 for 37 in the passing game last year, and only 142 yards, but he's still, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions is the problem on that too. But it's not like he's necessarily a bad passer. It's just they don't really utilize that option much.
No, they don't utilize it. They utilize him more on defense. So they're looking for. They're probably still searching for that quarterback. 'Cause last year in 2023, they were really searching for that quarterback after the jamboree. So you could get a number of guys who could pass the ball here. You could have Logan Briers, you could have Jalen Venter, or you could have Jonathan Callan pass the ball here to either Javion Barnes or Nathan Brown. So interested to see what they're going to do here. It looks like Logan Briers and Jalen Venter are going to be in the backfield. So let's see what they come up here.
Fourth and 3 at midfield.
Logan Briers is splitting out wide at the bottom of your screen.
Surprised they don't have the safety back.
With motion, Venter He's going to keep the option. He's going to go for himself. He'll get the first down and dives past the 45, and they will stop it for the first down, or at least they're supposed to. The clock is still running, and they got the first down spotting, and they'll move it down. They'll move the chains. They're trying to hurry up and get this situated.
Yeah, and that's rare to see Jalen Venter not making that first guy miss. If it was 2023 Jalen Venter, he's to the house on that one.
Muffed snap, the ball loose. Looks like the PAC Panthers recovered it. That was Sean McNulty who got the ball again. He had one fumble recovery last year, and now PAC with one timeout and 34.7
Venter's down.
seconds.
Venter's down. He's not moving.
34.7 seconds and a turnover there, and that is not a good sign with Venter. And you're seeing the referee and the training staff coaches immediately going over to him.
Yeah, he's not moving.
That is not something you want to see. And all the coaches and training staff are surrounding him there. They're going to take a look, and we will step aside. Well, the good news is off camera, Jalen Venter trotted back and went off to the sideline. The medical staff are evaluating him, and I believe one of the coaches is having a conversation about potentially saying Venter's done because of, again, concussion protocol on that, but we'll get to the play here. Patrick Bennett on the scramble, lost the ball, but the PAC Panthers recover it. Freedom almost had a recovery, and you could see how frustrated the lineman was in trying to get to it. I believe that was Colton Taylor trying to get the ball back, and the PAC Panthers have got it recovered. We've got a stoppage at 25 seconds, and the ball recovered by the PAC Panthers, Evan Patterson.
And that's just miscarriage of the ball. He just had it out there like he was about to try to go for a touchdown. Just hold to that ball tight. Don't worry about it. You guys have the lead. Just take it to the half.
And the final timeout called by the PAC Panthers here with 25 seconds left to go here in this first half. But so let's talk about what's going on with Venter. So you saw in the replay, he suddenly went down, immediately clenched his head, and off camera he got up and trotted back over to the sideline. And the medical staff was looking at him, and certainly, again, concussion-wise, they have to evaluate and take extra precaution on those situations. It did look like one of the coaches for the Freedom Cowboys was having a conversation with the medical staff, and you could certainly understand sometimes coaches are like, he could get back in, he stood up and everything, but when it comes to concussions, you don't mess around, especially with those under 18.
Yeah, as a coach myself, you got to be extra careful with concussions. Any sort of head trauma, head injuries, you got to be super careful. You got to take it. You got to take that stuff very serious. Don't take it lightly at all. Even though it may be your best player, you got to do what's best for the kid on that one.
Yeah. No, and it was Coach Gokman who was having the conversation with it. And again, I don't think it's certainly nothing along the lines of just like keep him playing in that regard. It's just you saw him trot, but Jalen's standing up, and you could see that kind of in the camera angle when we'll show the sideline shot later. But he's standing up there with his helmet off and looking on as here is Kyler Barkley carrying the ball. He's got to get to the outside with no timeouts, but I guess they're just gonna run it down here because unless they. We got another timeout called.
Y'all missed it, but Colton Taylor, he's not right now either. He's right down there in the tent.
Colton Taylor being evaluated in the tent as well for the Freedom Cowboys. And I guess there was another timeout called by the PAC Panthers. They're now out of them, I suppose, unless Freedom called it. So 14 seconds left to go in this first half, third down. But you're right. Colton Taylor is down in the tent. You can also see if you could see in the camera shot there, Venter has his helmet off and he's standing on the sideline. And again, one of those things, you have the independent medical evaluation staff. They always look at that and making sure things are right with all the players and everything. Looks like we got one more play for the first half here, depending on how things go here. We're seeing crazier things. The earlier game we had with Augusta and Tri-Cities, it seemed like it was a touchdown every 5 seconds.
Yeah, but now you're getting a turnover or a defensive stop every 5 seconds. You've had two PAC touchdowns. We'll see what's going to happen here with 14 seconds left. What do you think they're going to cook up, Brendan? What do you think they're going to cook up here?
I'm going to cook up one little trick play, but don't be surprised if they do a random pass around this one.
There you go.
Looks like maybe a random pass. Toss to the left side. Overthrew his man in Jance Lamb. If he had gone right on target there, it would have been a first down, but it's now fourth down with 8.4, so kind of helped them with having a stoppage of play because likely they'll just run out the clock if they even don't see a good play here, so that Freedom doesn't have a chance.
Well, even if you run out the clock, it's fourth down. If you don't get the first down, then it's going to be Freedom ball. So, but Coach Collins really frustrated right now. Looks like the secondary is not doing their jobs, not covering their guys. You saw that Lamb was wide open on that. So we'll see what's going on, see how they clean that up.
And from a coach's point of view, from your quarterback, you do not want to throw across body, and that's exactly what you did, just throw across body.
Here's the final play of the first half. Throw across body intended for Barkley in coverage, incomplete. There's a flag.
Yep.
That's a flag. They can't end it on a defensive penalty, so one untimed down if that is defensive.
Yeah, that was definitely Eli Carr was pulling on the receiver there as he was going down to catch the ball. Otherwise, Barkley would have called it, and that could have been the quarter. But a mistake like that, that's something you learn from day one. I understand you're not trying to give up the touchdown, but you had good coverage, good leverage on that. So you could have gotten away with that without any pulling or tugging on that.
That's just perfect play by the wide out. You know you're about to get super covered by a defense, maybe sell it a little bit, get a little tuck tag here, and now you get another down.
All right, another random pass here by PAC Panthers, you think, Brendan?
Don't be surprised because they've been pulling out the pass plays a lot today. It's kind of shocking. We're not really used to this out of the PAC Panthers.
In high school, it's not at the spot of the foul. It's just an automatic 15-yard penalty, moving it up to the 35-yard line. Another chance for the PAC Panthers to go up by 3 scores heading into the halftime. Man to the left and right of Bennett. He's going to toss it left side and swatted last second. A great defensive move. Kyler Barkley had no chance with Eli Carr in coverage. And what a way to end the first half.
Yeah, great coverage there by Eli Carr. Getting there, knocking the ball down. Don't try to go for the pick there for a potential disaster. Knocking the ball down. That's what every DB coach teaches the secondary. Knock the ball down before you go for the interception. Great play there.
And for the quarterback, you got to lead your wide receiver. He kind of threw behind him instead of in front of him. You want to throw in front of him, let him lead to that touchdown.
About 12 minutes until we get to the start of the second half. 14-0, the PAC Panthers lead over the Freedom Cowboys in game 3/4 of the 2024 Black Bear Brawls. We welcome you back to the mountains in Gatlinburg. The Smokies hosting the second edition of the Black Bear Brawls, the kickoff for high school 8-man and 11-man football in the region, and hosted here in Tennessee. Spencer Thompson, Eli Cornett joining me up here in the booth. Brendan Daniel down on the mezzanine in the shade. Onside kick will go to about the 41-yard line. Ball still loose and out, and finally fallen on by the Freedom Cowboys. And that will bring us to the start of the second half. The Cowboys, and it looks like we have another injury here. And at least from what I'm seeing, the Logan Bryers of the Freedom Cowboys looks like he is down. Actually, no, that's not a one.
Barnes.
Yeah, it looked like a one at first. It's so Barnes down. Looks like you hate to see it as well this early on in the season, as we mentioned throughout the day. And you got this injury there as the coaching staff tends to Barnes, and both teams getting essentially another timeout to try and regroup and discuss this, as you're hoping that he's okay. And it looks like Jalen Venter has got his helmet back on for the Cowboys, so he's back in. So it looks like the medical staff have cleared him from what looked like it could have been a concussion-inducing impact. But fortunately, all's okay with him, and medical staff gave him the clearance to play the rest of the game.
Which is good, because if they're going to make a comeback, they need him to come back stronger than ever. So hopefully that injury is not too serious, that he's able to play through it. Obviously, he's got his helmet on, so hopefully he's able to make a spark and get this Freedom team back in the ballgame.
Well, for safety purposes, I'm sure coaches and athletic team trainers are going to keep a close eye to him just in case he gets hit again, because second concussion is no.
Yep, Yvonne Barnes, fortunately standing on his own feet, and he'll be looked at by the rest of the coaching staff as he heads back. So, Brendan, you always talk about the battle in the trenches and how impactful it is on the game. What has your assessment been of that trench warfare so far in the first half?
Man, I'm going to say PAC Panthers has been taking it by a long shot. They've been getting penetration. They've been getting blocks. They're doing everything right. So maybe this second half, maybe the Cowboys have fixed that problem, and hopefully they fight back.
1st and 10 from the 32, and this carry by Venter. Jalen Venter, there's a flag down on the mid side of the field as Venter gets to about the 49, and he's clenching again. Another potential injury. Fortunately, it doesn't look like he was clenching his head or anything, but still a penalty on the field.
Looks like he got hit in a very uncomfortable area.
Yeah.
That just happens. When you're a defensive guy and you're just diving to get a tackle, you may accidentally hit the guy a little bit lower than you think.
Looks like our other game here with Harvest Christian and East Central, that game is still on commercial break. We'll get you scoring updates whenever that comes back. And I believe we got another player for the PAC Panthers who's asking to be stretched out, is having a little bit of cramping up. So now the coaching staff coming over for him. This is the unfortunate part of especially on such a heated day like this. We got 82 degrees, mostly sunny. The high is going to be 84, but the saying goes, if you're playing on turf field, it adds about 10 degrees to the heat such. So you're essentially having players playing in 92-degree weather with the sun beating down and the heavy humidity up on top of the mountain of the Smokies. So
it's not easy.
Oh, yeah. So credit to these athletes for continuing to push through this. And looks like a good sign for Jalen Venter to come back up. And he's
it might be his wrist.
Yeah, clenching his wrist. Now, we were wondering, he thought he may have been done for the day with that collision earlier. Might be another sign of him potentially taking a rest for the rest of the afternoon.
And if I'm the Freedom coaching staff, I'm sitting him. You have too many important games coming your way in the Southeastern Extreme Conference. You want to save him to try to get back to that conference championship game. So you got Logan Bryers in now at quarterback.
Nice, pay attention down when in the sideline on the bench. He threw down his helmet out of very much anger, and he's probably sitting.
Run to the left side by Logan Briers, tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Several PAC defenders keeping him from going anywhere. Huge loss on the play for about a 2nd and 20 plus.
You can't keep bouncing it outside. You got to finally hit the hole. You got to get north and south. You can't keep going. You can be patient, but you can't be patient way too long. You got to find that crease and take it. That's what I coach my running backs all the time to do. Don't go east to west. You got to get north and south, all right? So you got to get at least 2 to 3 yards a pop. So now you've lost, what is it, 2nd and 30? 18, is that what you said?
That's what it looks like.
All right, so 2nd and 18. So you got to get something here. Callan back at quarterback, Spencer.
It actually might be almost 27, I think, because the original line to gain is this is tossed for an incomplete, very short pass intended on the reception end. But, yeah, the original line to gain at the 32-yard line, so you had 10 on that for the 22 and then back to the 15. So, yeah, that's about 3rd and 27 coming up after that incompletion.
Yeah, and he was getting pressure by the PAC defensive line. Callan able to get the ball off, but underthrew it that time. That PAC defense is just playing out of their minds right now, Brendan.
Yeah, and I thought maybe that the Freedom Cowboys maybe got it figured out offensive line-wise, because that first play, they got them blocked and perfectly fine besides the hold, but looks like that momentum has switched back to the PAC Panthers defense, and they're doing their jobs, hitting every hole.
I noticed with that incomplete pass, the clock has still been running. We got it's going down to about 10:08 left to go in this game.
I think they stopped it till the ball was set.
Deep toss left side, incomplete. Pass intended, Javon Barnes.
And when you're playing quarterback like that, you can't roll out and put your all into it.
And we've got another PAC Panther who's down injured on the field, and they will stop the clock again. Down to 9:46 left to go in the 3rd. And that's been the story of the day, has been players cramping up, not staying as hydrated. And even got Coach Yeomans out there helping stretch his player as well.
Looks like Coach Yeomans is limping a little bit. He may have caught a cramp as well.
Uh-oh, we might need the pickle juice. Bring out the pickle juice.
Pickle juice, the bananas for potassium.
Get that Pedialyte out there, boys.
Oh, yeah. 28-0 is the score right now for East Central leading over Harvest Christian. Very much a one-sided game down on the south field. You got 2 other games coming up here at field where you're seeing right now Arundel Parrott Academy and the Evangel Lightning will face off. Lower field, the Anderson Cavaliers and the Cabarrus Stallions. And then the night game, Virginia Spartans face off against Georgia Force. That night game is at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and a kickoff time set for the other 2 late afternoon games at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, all right here on 8-Man Extreme.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see that Evangel game. You know, they lost a lot of seniors last year. See if they keep that streak going. A bunch of guys who have only really played garbage time. So they bring guys back like Kemp Swords leading the helm there. So really interested to see what Evangel comes up with in this next game against Arundel.
Got a punt away, 4th down and long. Not the only option really for the Freedom Cowboys to do, as this will be returned and a slide down at the 40-yard line on the punt return. And another PAC Panther is lying down at the 30-yard line as they will start off this offensive drive deep in Cowboys territory. And that's Evan Patterson.
Bring out the pickle juice.
And he tried to get up on his own. Nope, he's still trying. No, buddy, just stay down. Drink that pickle juice. Let him stretch you out.
There's a Dollar General down the road. I'm sure they got a jar of Vlasic or dill pickles that they can just bring those over to the bring it over to the sideline.
If we had $1 for how many cramps we've had today, we'd all be rich.
Actually, wait, Food City is sponsoring this, right, with the tents and everything. Why don't you ask someone to make a Food City run? Bring out some pickle jars.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go. On the hop. They got an intern, right? They can make a little bit of a pickle juice.
They got
run,
an
right?
intern?
They got an intern, right? Come on.
Sad thing is, my coach kept pickle juice on the sideline because he knew, hey, in these hot days, we already know everybody's going to be cramping. And I cramped one time, had to guzzle down the pickle juice, and I almost puked. I ain't going to lie to you.
You know what's worse? I had pickle juice assigned to me when I played at Classical.
Oh.
I had my own personal pickle juice that my head coach brought every single week because I had calf cramps at least once or twice every single game.
The things you learn after a player's playing career. Now, did you almost vomit having that pickle juice, though, like Brendan?
I'd say I'm a little tougher than Brendan. So I don't think that I came close to vomiting. I might have dry heaved a little bit after, but nothing came up.
In my defense, I already hate pickles, so adding pickle juice is going to be more of an issue for me, especially first time drinking pickle juice.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It is.
I'm the only one of my 4 siblings, and my parents, well, I think my mom and I don't like pickles either, so we're on the same boat with that, Brendan. As carry up the middle for 3 yards for a 2nd and 7. As Patrick Bennett took it up the middle. And we were talking about how the first half had a pretty good pace for about an hour, and that's mostly because of how rush-heavy these teams are, which, again, not a surprise because anyone who really has followed the 8-man football scene in the last several years, now the Freedom Cowboys, they're guaranteed to run. PAC Panthers as well, they can pass, but most of the time they're going to run.
Yeah, they're going to run at about 95% of their offensive snaps. So it's all about controlling the time on the clock. They're really good with clock management. They'd like to run the ball, and they do it effectively. They've been doing it for the last 10, 15 years. So they're doing a great job there. As the Freedom defense swarms, that's what you got to do. You got to fill your gaps. You got to get to your gap assignment. Stop that PAC Panthers run, that rushing attack that's been killing you all game. So now you're set up for a 3rd and manageable here for Freedom. So you got to get a stop. You got to get off the field.
That's going to be tough for the Cowboys to do because that offensive line is getting their blocks, and these running backs, they're running almost like Derrick Henry. They're putting their shoulder pads down. They're getting stiff arms. They're moving guys out the way single-handedly by themselves with no problem.
Come on, Brendan, jump around.
I'm sure he is. There's probably a camera angle of doing the whole jump thing that's playing.
Nope, I do not need any cramps because there's no pickle juice around, and I don't feel like drinking it, so we'll be all right.
I'll send Theodore.
we got Theo, we got James, we got Blake. Somebody can run to it. Toss left side and open on the catch is Jance Lamb going to the left, and he's brought down on the tackle by Logan Bryers.
Yeah, and that's the Freedom defense we're used to seeing. Now you got 3 guys coming in hot. He had to get that ball off Logan Bryars there to finish it up. So now you're starting to see the Freedom defense coming together, what we're used to seeing.
And if only he would have caught that ball and maybe had that guy miss, it'd be a different story. But shout out to the Cowboys finally getting their defense right. Maybe Collins was able to talk to his guys up.
Yeah, now you're sitting at a 4th and 5. So if you're Freedom defense, you got to toughen up right here. You got to get that turnover on down so you can get Bryars and Venter and Callan back on the field to hopefully make this a 1-score game.
And if I'm PAC Panthers, I'm going to do that misdirect snap and go straight up the middle. They haven't really stopped that quite yet, so let's throw it at them one more time.
4th and 5 for the Panthers. Quick toss right side. Lamb on the catch. No, it's incomplete. Unless they ruled it earlier, it's ruled incomplete. Remember how they ruled earlier? They had that bang-bang play that was then ruled it incomplete. Almost looked like it was a fumble, but this time turnover on downs on the incompletion.
Yeah, good job there by Freedom covering up. Looked like he was going to be wide open, but Logan Bryars came in there like a heat-seeking missile and took that play away. So now you got Jalen Venter now coming back into the ball game with Jonathan Callan and Logan Bryars. So let's see if Jalen Venter can get back to his normal form of hitting that hole, get north and south, and hopefully get Freedom back in this ball game because that time is running, and it's running fast, and they got to get back into this ball game quick.
And PAC's defense, they've been doing their job. Let's see if they can keep it up. They've been stopping the run. They've been stopping all the weapons that the Cowboys been throwing at them. I'm sure they'll keep it up.
Again, I'm wondering why the clock was running. They finally stopped it at 6:12, but on the turnover on downs, it was not stopped. And gets us to a 1st and 10 on the 35.
Watch for that QB power right here.
Yeah, there it is with Venter going up the middle. Couldn't get past Sean McNulty. Talked about how he almost had 100 tackles last year, had 10.5 sacks, 22 solo tackles, and it's moments like that, and he's got his helmet off headed to the sideline, but it's moments like that are why Sean McNulty is such a powerhouse as a senior.
And he's just going in, wrapping that tackle. He must have lost that helmet while trying to get the guy down, but he's not worried about it. He's finishing that tackle and making a good power move.
Yeah, if you're Jalen Venture, you want to get you got to get north and south on that one. Offensive line didn't really help you out on that, but you got to get north and south. Jalen Venture does not have his speed that he had last year right now.
There's the handoff. There's Briers going up the middle, and he'll not get more than a couple of yards to bring up a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, they're not finding the cutback lane. They're going right up the middle. If you're Venture, Callan, Briers, you got to find that cutback lane. You're getting to these one-on-one matchups right here in the second level. You got to make that man miss. You got to find the cutback, which they've usually been really good at. They're playing power football, but at some point you got to be an athlete and make one guy miss, and maybe you get 10, 15 yards or you take it to the house.
And Pat got lucky with the linebacker sitting out there getting that tackle because the defensive line, they oversold and tried to get the quarterback.
3rd and long. Can Freedom get the spark that they need? Quick toss across the middle, incomplete, just outside the reach of the senior Nathan Brown.
And Callan doesn't look like Callan seems like he's got a little bit of nerves going on. He's overthrown or underthrown every ball he's thrown. He had, I believe that was number 6, Nathan Brown. He was wide open on that switch route. So you gotta just kind of calm down a little bit, young boy. You gotta calm down, set your feet, do it, work your mechanics, everything that your coach has taught you, and complete that ball.
It's pretty tough to do that when the defensive line is right in your face. Those guys penetrated every hole that they could and got to the quarterback where it made it difficult to make that pass.
But we got another one coming up right here, Brendan.
They got no choice right here. It's 4th and long.
4th and long. Callan is going to air it out to the left side, intended for Eli Carr, almost picked off by Barkley, and it doesn't matter, turnover on downs.
Yeah, same play there, running that switch crossing concept there. Not able to complete the ball. Looks like Nathan Brown was wide open again, and he's wasn't able to complete the pass as PAC Panthers players down. That's
Logan Briers. Not a good sign. He has his helmet off, but they're stretching out his leg again, so I guess we got –
I'm $1 richer.
Bring the pickle juice.
Yeah, once again, I would not be surprised if for these 4 p.m. games, some coach from the team, they're making a run to Dollar General or Food City or one of the grocery stores local in the area, even if they have to go to, Pigeon Forge or Sevierville.
Is there a Piggly Wiggly around here?
That's a great question.
No.
That's where I want to go.
Yeah. Well, Piggly Wiggly is not a sponsor of these All-American Bowls. Food City is. However, let's workshop this. Let's see if there is one
Are
near.
you looking up to see if there's a Piggly Wiggly here in Gatlinburg?
Yes.
I don't think there is. All my years of living here, I don't think I've ever seen a Piggly Wiggly here.
The nearest one is 2 hours and 12 minutes away in Dillard, Georgia.
Yep.
Hey, I mean, that's not too far.
That's how much James drive to get to Theodore last night.
Well, send James. Come on, Commissioner Shannon, chop.
What do you want him to go to Piggly Wiggly for?
Pickle juice.
I don't know.
You could have said literally anything on a grocery store, and you just went.
Fine. I want him to get some pastries.
What type?
I got nothing.
He just has this whole thing of like, you could have said cinnamon roll, bear claw, could have said a croissant, you could have said, like a brioche, like there are many ones there as.
A beignet,
yes. One of those are one.
We're far away from New Orleans, so they're probably not good up here.
No.
Logan Briers, good to see him getting back on his feet, end of the sideline. It's, again, the story of the day has been cramps and injuries. So I beg your pardon, Kyler Barkley on that, who was injured on the play. And, again, story of the day, injuries, cramps, a lot of players having to go back to the sideline, get stretched, and then try to go back in. A lot of this stuff will be worked out going later on the season. The NFL also kind of does this with the summer workouts. They do essentially environment adjustment where they're getting used to the heat and preparing for the season. And this is kind of one of those games for the teams where they're having a sort of environment adjustment, especially in the heat of the mountain.
Yeah, this is kind of a learning curve for all these teams coming up in the mountains playing in the heat like this. But, you know, in Huntsville and Columbia, South Carolina, the heat's not a friend there either.
No.
So you're trying to get used to the heat, getting back to game shape. So
Carry up the middle by Patrick Bennett for a gain of about 7 yards to get a second down and short.
Just a good read by the runner. Just follow your offensive line, follow the blockers, get your yards, and halfway to a first down.
$28-0 right now for East Central over Harvest Christian. Looks like they've got about 1:10 left in the third quarter. So they actually had a little more less stoppages than we have, because we got about 3:45. As that'll get back to a loss on the play for third and about 3rd and 5.
one thing we haven't really brought up is both these defenses have been playing great. Yes, Freedom gave up those last 2 touchdowns in the first half, but they've been able to step up and force PAC to have 2 or 3 3-and-outs at this point. So if you're the Freedom offense now, you got to pick it up. Defense, you got to get off the field. It's 3rd down. So essentially, you got to stay on the field for 2 more downs and then get off the field. So let's see what they're going to come up with. Maybe another random PAC Panthers pass, Brendan. Let's see. What do you think they're going to do here?
I would say probably a sweep here. They haven't pulled it out their bag since the first quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see it right here. Everything has not been working out for them as well, so don't be surprised if you see a sweep.
Oh, they're coming.
About a 3rd down and 5. Yeah, you had some preemptive movement there. I was thinking it's going to be either a likely false start. They'll move it back 5 yards.
Yeah, it looked like Logan Bryce was coming on that. If I'm Coach Collins, I'm bringing the house. You've been playing conservative basically the whole game. You've been playing your base defense. Gap assignment has not been great, so I'd just go ahead and bring the house. At this point, you got to do what it takes to get back in this ball game. Get after the quarterback. That offensive line's been holding firm all day, but now you got no choice. You got to bring 4 or 5 every time.
And that's uncharacteristic of the offensive line from the PAC. They're usually very disciplined when it comes to that.
You got a holding. You got 2 holdings right there.
Multiple flags, and more than like when you see a big run like that, it's going to be holding almost every time. And that was Lamb. It went up to about the 29-yard line, and that'll bring the ball back.
So now it's going to be 3rd and long. So if you're the Freedom Cowboys, again, they didn't bring it that time, but now it's 3rd and long. Now it's different. So now you are less likely to make a mistake or give up a big play right here if you send the house. You have guys like Logan Bryars, Elijah Brown, Jalen Venter. So I'd bring the house on this again. Me being a defensive coordinator, I'd love to blitz, Bama blitz. You know, so let's see if they bring it here. Coach Collins is known for bringing the house, so let's see what they come up with. But like Brendan said, the offensive line has been standing firm.
And if I'm the PAC Panthers, I might think about making a pass play if I've seen the blitz a few times, but you never know with this team. They might just run up on you again, get the yards they need.
3rd down, a scramble. Deep toss in the middle. That's almost an interception. The pass intended for Samuel Cargo, and good coverage by Eli Carr.
Yeah, great coverage by Eli Carr, covering the receiver, standing on top. That's the key. Stay on top of the receiver. Get your hand in there. Play the ball. Don't play the receiver. Play the ball. Great job by Eli Carr.
And better offense, or better defense, I should say, because that interception could have happened. But thanks to him coming back and getting that tackle, it saved that interception.
Again, still wondering why the clock is running on an incomplete pass. And we got 70 seconds left to go here in the 3rd. And this one booted away by Yeomans. And a fair catch called at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, so if you're the Freedom offense, you got to get back in this game. You got a minute left in the 3rd quarter. Get a big play. Get a big play. Try to make a big play here with a minute left. Try to set yourself up. Get the momentum to start the 4th quarter. But you're only down by 2 scores, so you're still technically in this game, but you want to feel more confident going into the 4th quarter. Freedom's been here before. They've been down before, and they've come out on top several times. So Jalen Venter and this Freedom offense, Logan Bryars, they got to get back in this ball game. They got to do it now.
If I'm PAC's defense, I'm just going to stay disciplined, do what we do best, attack, and make these guys pay when they run, and maybe even try to pickle punch the ball.
Did you just say pickle punch?
Yes, I did. Trying to get a sponsorship.
Yeah, we've been referencing pickles and pickle juice throughout the entire afternoon.
It's been the theme of the weekend.
The theme of this Saturday. 1:04 left to go in the third. It's a pitch, forward lob, and still not brought down is Logan Bryers. He's going to the outside, stays in bounds all the way to the 26-yard line. Give it a little bit further. I believe that moves the chains for a first down.
Good effort, good effort there by Logan Bryers. Not giving up, keeping those legs moving. Looks like the clock's going to stop with 55 seconds left. Looks like we may have a timeout here.
We got another player down for the PAC Panthers down on the 25-yard line.
Another dollar richer, boys.
Pickle. Get the pickle.
Yeah,
pickle,
another
pickle.
one stretch. I know. Sometimes if you haven't been watching or you just tuned in, you're like, why are these guys joking about a player being down? It's because he's being stretched out, and this has been the same trend for players on both sides the entire day. It's just cramps, fortunately. It's not anything like if it's a serious injury. And we've unfortunately had a couple of close scares throughout the day so far, and we've been respectful of that. But when it's just cramping, it's very predictable. And you also have two broadcasters on here, former players, so they know for the most part what it is when you see it.
Sometimes cramps are worse than ACL tears in a way.
Ooh.
Because it just hurts so bad. You feel like you're about to pass out. Those cramps can be so bad. But you know what heals it? Pickle juice. Pickle juice heals that and prevents it.
Also, stretching helps, too. I used to do it all the time, just in case.
That's why you're seeing every player getting stretched out whenever that happens.
I even see a few guys on the sideline for the Cowboys. They're starting to stretch now and make sure they don't get any cramps when they get on the field.
Stretching, what's that?
Wait, didn't you run track and field?
I did.
That was your athlete. You guys didn't stretch at all before?
I probably stretched more in track than I ever did for football.
Facts.
The last thing you need is to go down with a Charlie horse when you're running on one of those relays. As carry up the middle. It's another one by Callan, just keeper, and go up forward for about nice gain of about 6 yards.
Yeah, good gain there. But again, make a cut. Make a cut. Be an athlete. If you make these, you've already predictable just to run up the gut. These linebackers are playing sound. They're playing their gaps. You got to make a cut. All right. You got to play it. You got to be athletic. All right. So now you're sitting at second down here, about 2nd and 5. So you got 21 seconds, and the clock is running down, so you got to get something quick here. Get a big play right before the fourth quarter starts.
If I'm coach, I'm keeping an eye on my defense. I think fatigue's starting to kick in because they're starting to miss tackles.
Quick sling to Nathan Brown across the middle. He's got the better of the defender, and for the first time this afternoon, the Freedom Cowboys are on the board.
Yeah, and just a simple slant route there by Nathan Brown. Good throw by Jonathan Callan. His first completion of the day for the Freedom Cowboys to end the third quarter. The Freedom Cowboys are now within striking distance of making this a one-score deficit. Great job there. Great pass connection from Callan to Brown there on that touchdown for the Freedom Cowboys.
I'm just going to say miscommunication on that. I feel like the guys just missed one person, wide open slant, and he just took it to the house. Very uncertain by the PAC Panthers. Not like them.
Not the end of the world if they missed the two-point conversion here, since PAC missed one of them earlier. But certainly with the lack of scoring that the Cowboys have had throughout the game, every point is important going forward.
Yeah, and every point is important going forward. So 2 points, it's important. You want to be able to get the 2 points. That way, if you are able to hold them and score again, you tie the ball game up. But so, yeah, not too important, but you want to get the 2-point conversion just to feel good. Feel like you're safe. Get some confidence going.
Callan, toss, incomplete. Threw it directly at the feet of Yvonne Barnes.
I think PAC Panthers defense took credit on that because they did get some penetration in there. Just one guy, but just enough to get the quarterback off shot.
And that will take us to the fourth quarter. It was all PAC throughout this game, and the Freedom Cowboys finally have some life, 14-6. Back for the final quarter in a moment. 12 minutes remaining in this contest. Game 3/4 of the Black Bear Brawls did not go the full 10 yards, so that is certainly a flag, and ball will be placed at the 49, 48-yard line for the PAC Panthers to take over. We appreciate you spending your Saturday with us and watching this game here and not the Olympics. Congratulations to the United States women's soccer team winning the gold against Brazil for the first time since 2012 that the women's soccer team has won the gold medal match at the Olympic Games. Congratulations to them on their 1-0 victory over Brazil earlier today, and we appreciate you spending your Saturday with us. You could choose many other different outlets or different activities to do. We certainly appreciate all around 100 of you tuning in here on 8-Man Extreme. Spencer Townsend, Eli Cornett, Brendan Daniel bringing you the action here from Legion Field at Hammond Stadium. Rocky Top Sports World hosting all of these Black Bear Brawls here for 2024 in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Freedom Cowboys just got life sparked into them by scoring a touchdown to end the third quarter. See how the PAC Panthers respond. Keeper by Patrick Bennett on the right side, and a gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, good run there. You want to – looks like we may have another cramp here. Venter slow to get up. But, yeah, good run there. Defense able to fill their gaps on there. Logan Breyer's able to stuff that. So, again, PAC Panthers' offensive line is just dominating right now.
And Lamb just being patient, just waiting for the right hole to get in. And he's just doing the right thing, just holding the ball, keep them legs moving, and hit the holes.
We talked about how Venter is the go-to player for the Freedom Cowboys over the last several years. He had 40.5 tackles last year, 5 sacks, 32 of those tackles on his own. He's been a key factor on this defense throughout the afternoon. There's a hold in the middle for Cam Yeomans to take the senior. The coach's son gets the first down, or just short of it. They'll spot him for about a 3rd and 1.
That's just big boy football there by the PAC Panthers offensive line. Down block, down block, down block, down block. Wash them out. Wash the Freedom's defensive line out. They're not able to make the play. Linebackers also get caught up in that traffic. Not able to make the play. Yeomans is able to pick up that first down, or the third, close to a first down.
And it's like I said, just running up the middle. They can't stop you, so might as well keep it going.
We got a 28-0 score, 7.5 left to go in that fourth quarter with East Central and Harvest Christian. They had a faster paced game than us, even though we also had a lot of stoppages for cramps on this field, it seems. As keeper by Bennett up the middle. He'll get the first down on the 35.
Yeah, just a
Go ahead.
Just a direct snap there, power play. Just again, down block, down block, down block. Able to watch the defense out, not able to get there, and they're able to pick up the first down.
And defense has to do better at penetrating, man. They're not getting anything. This offensive line is doing great, but the defense line is going to have to make that hole for the linebackers to get in and make that penetration get to the runner.
Under 10 minutes remaining in this edition of the Black Bear Brawl. The Palmetto-Dixie game of 2. Second one happening down on the lower field. As this is up the middle, Yeomans again plowing through that defensive line to get to the 29-yard line, 3 yards short of the line of gain.
And that's what you like to see out of your runner, just hard ball running. Keep your shoulders low. Even if you get hit, keep them legs moving because they ain't going to be able to stop you. And your offensive line will push you if you need be.
And this Freedom defense is getting tired. Hands on hips. They're playing both ways. They got to come up and make a big play here. You're only down by 1 score. So if you're the Freedom defense, you got to rise up, force a turnover here, try to get that ball out. PAC's been able to run at will on you guys. So it's time to rise up, make a play. You have the momentum. Now PAC is slowly taking it back. So let's see what the PAC Panthers come up with and see if Freedom's able to stop them.
Another direct snap to Bennett. On the right side, he's got another first down to the 25. And we talked about this whole tempo situation with the big reason of the heavy rushing for teams, and they control the time. Notice how much time is being chunked off the clock here with the Panthers. We're now almost at 8.5 minutes left to go in the game.
And that's the game plan. If you get the lead, just keep hold on to that ball, run it, and get the clock running. There's no need to try to pass the ball right here. Just keep on moving. They ain't stopped you yet.
Yeah, you're playing 4-minute offense right now. You're trying to get that ball out or try to get that clock winding down. You're going to hold on to the ball as long as you can. You're going to let that play clock go down to 3 to 5 seconds, not until you snap the ball off. So if you're Freedom, you want to be able to get them off the field here because you don't want to be able to use your timeouts, waste them on defense. And if you're on offense, you have a chance. You don't want to be able to be in scramble mode, 2-minute drill. That's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Handoff left side. Got an opening. If he gave past the last man, then he will not. That's a carry by Josh Williams, the junior. Had an opening on the outside that he could have taken advantage of, but it's spotted down at the 20-yard line for a 2nd and 4.
It's just PAC Panthers playing, as my coach used to say, we're playing keep away from the other team, making sure they can't get that ball and have any chance to score and get the game closer and possible comeback.
Yeah, and if you're playing corner, every DB coaches your corners to go outside. You're the last outside contained player. That time, Nathan Brown goes inside, is giving up the outside contain, allowing, I believe that was Josh Williams to get the outside on that. So it's okay there. You got to be able to play that outside contain really well.
High snap and pressure from the Cowboys trying to get it shoved down, and great possession by Josh Williams, because sometimes when you're going to possess the ball like that, you can lose it. Good awareness to fall on the ball, but a disastrous play for the PAC Panthers.
Disastrous play, but good execution at the end. Just get the ball and just hold on to it, even if you get hit.
So clock is ticking. You're just under 7 minutes now. You got a third and long situation. If you're Freedom, this is what you've been hoping for. You've been hoping for a 3rd and long. You're hoping for a break. So you got at least maybe 1 to 2 more plays depending on how this play goes. If you're able to back them up, most likely PAC's going to punt it. You're going to have the ball probably right under 5 minutes or right at 5 minutes with all your timeouts. So if you're Freedom here, sit in the house. Sit in the house. Blitz, Bama blitz. Come on. Sit in the house. You got at least 5 creeping up to the line right now. See where they go.
Yeomans up the middle, goes to about the 33-yard line, gains back a couple of yards to bring up 4th down. Another factor on this, neither team has used their timeouts for this half, at least as far as we've kept track. Under 6 minutes, Freedom's got all 3 of their timeouts, and they get a stop here. They can march back down the field.
Yeah, they can march down the field again. Clock's at 5:50. PAC's going to run this thing all the way down, try to get a 1st down. It's 4th down, so you're looking at Freedom potentially maybe tying the game up here if they're able to score. So if you're Freedom here, you got to get a stop. You can't give up anything. You also want to get a good stop so you've got good field position. Right now you're sitting at the 34-yard line. You want to at least give up maybe at max 2 yards, 2 to 3 yards. So that way you're setting up in a good field position for that Freedom offense, Logan Bryce and Jalen Vinter and Jonathan Callan, to potentially lead you back into the game and get into overtime. Looks like PAC's going to take a timeout here.
And the PAC Panthers will burn their first timeout of this first half, or second half, I should say. 5:27 left to go in the 4th quarter. PAC Panthers going to think it over. PAC Panthers had a chance to think it over, 14-6. 5:27 left to go in regulation. A 4th down. This could decide the outcome of the game. Here's Barkley looking for the option. He's brought down. The turnover on downs comes to the hands of a sack credited to Elijah Brown.
And that's what you needed right there. If you're the Freedom Cowboys, you got 3 or 4 Cowboys right there to wrap up Barkley. So you're in good shape here. You got 5 minutes. You got plenty of time to work with. But, again, you got to run the ball, okay? You got to get that clock turned down because PAC's been able to run that ball at will. So if you're Freedom, you got to take your time. You're in no rush. You have Venter, Callan, and Bryce. You got 3 of the best runners in seat that are able to potentially tie this ball game up and take it to overtime, which would be absolutely bonus football is good whenever you get it, Spencer.
The Cowboys will start this drive on the 40-yard line. And again, keep in mind, as far as I'm aware, the Black Bear Brawls, we had 1 overtime game last year. And I believe that was the Georgia Force contest after all the rain delays. Toss right side, incomplete, outside of the reach of Jalen Venter.
Jalen Venter just stopped running there. If he's running full speed, he catches that ball and he potentially scores. He just stops. Good. That was the right decision for Callan right there. Jalen Venter was wide open. No one found him. So probably a breakdown there on the PAC defense.
Well, the PAC sent the whole house, and I think that's why he was wide open. I don't think there was a guy out there that was really able to guard him. And if only the quarterback just did his due diligence and just be patient, do his mechanics, and throw that ball perfectly to him, it might have been a first down and more.
All right, so you're going to see this. Callan's right there back by himself. He's probably going to motion Venter back. Oh, there he goes. He's going to motion Venter. He'll probably come back, look for a speed option coming back this way.
There's your option. Over to Venter. He's got it. Got past the 1 man. Second one. Can he get past the 3rd? Jalen Venter down the sideline. Tiptoes. Jalen Venter all the way for the touchdown.
And that is the Jalen Venter we've been waiting for all afternoon. Makes one guy miss. Stiff arms the next. Great run there by Jalen Venter. The option coming this way. Callan, great read on that. Great pitch. Jalen Venter is the man for the Freedom Cowboys. Great play there for the Cowboys.
I think the heat is really getting to the PAC Panthers right now. They are missing a lot of tackles, and you can just see the exhaustion out of them. They're just trying to like arm tackle and feet tackle. They're not even trying to get a body on these guys.
2-point conversion now, very critical. The PAC Panthers call their second timeout of the half as they know fully well what this next scoring opportunity would mean for the game.
And Jalen Venter getting knocked out of the game not 1 but 2 times. He's able to make it up to his team late in the 4th quarter. Great job there by Jalen Venter. As you can see, PAC, they're tired. The heat's getting to them. The heat's getting to everybody, even the fans. You see people on the PAC side with their tents. The heat is killing everybody. So hopefully we're in for a good finish to this 4th quarter, Brendan.
And I hope they can figure out a way to get themselves together. Coach is usually on ball when it comes to getting his guys back on it, especially humans. But let's see what they do. It just takes one. If they can get this stop right here, they'll be able to breathe.
We're doing the swag surf up here, Brendan.
I'm sorry?
We're doing the swag surf up here.
I was about to say I can barely hear you because the music.
It's the swag surf is what he has us doing up here.
Is it the Taylor Swift swag surf or is it actual swag surf?
It's the Auburn Tiger swag surf.
Okay, that's ugly.
This is football, not the Eras Tour. Come on. Come on.
Ugh, the Auburn swag surf is so awful. Just do the Taylor Swift.
I was about to say, wait a minute.
At least my team doesn't bark.
You might be right, but we bite.
Oh.
2-time national championships, if I'm right.
I wave the white flag.
Hey, I was going to say, how many Bama national championships do they have? How many?
Well, if it wasn't for Cam Newton, they wouldn't have any.
It's been a long 15 years, guys. It's been a long 15 years. Jameis Winston broke our hearts. So it's been a long 15 years.
We're now at 3 p.m. It has been 2 hours since this game kicked off, and next game is supposed to kick off at 4 Eastern, so an hour from now. And we've got about 4:51 left to go on the remainder of this contest, and this timeout all crucial for the 2-point conversion attempt coming up.
Do we have an update of the other game, Spencer?
28-0, same score, 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. So it's definitely East Central looks like they have that game locked up. Now, in this game, however, we've still got an interesting contest going on.
Yeah, if you're Freedom, this 2-point conversion is critical. PAC Panthers, they're down, they're tired. So let's see if Freedom's able to capitalize on this touchdown, get a 2-point conversion, tie the ball game up. But again, PAC has a lot of time, Brendan. What do you think they're going to do?
I think they're going to stay solid. Eunice is coaching them up right now. He's talking to the guys to make sure they're staying poised as always and just tackle. That's all they need to do is just wrap up. If they wrap up, they'll be perfectly fine.
All right, here comes Freedom. They're coming out. So we're going to probably get that, maybe a speed option again because that worked so much. Logan Byers is getting his guys fired up. So maybe Logan Byers maybe getting the ball here. Looks like Logan Byers is going to line up at quarterback. So let's see if they come here. Maybe a direct snap to Logan Byers. Looks like they may go power formation with that double pull.
You barely seen him on the field lately. So if I'm PAC, I'm keeping an eye on him because he might get the ball for sure.
Callan, keeper, trying to push through, waiting for the signal. No good. No good.
No.
PAC defense doing it again, baby.
No, he got in. He got in. That second effort, he got in. He got in.
The officials rule no good on the 2-point conversion attempt, and it leaves the lead to the PAC Panthers.
Now, if you're Freedom, don't get your head down. You still have 5 minutes.
And all timeouts.
And you have all your timeouts. You have plenty of time to get a stop, get the ball back, and potentially win the football game. If you're Freedom, you've been down all day. You've had players fall down left and right with injuries. So if you're Freedom, you still have life. You still have hope. You have won the fourth quarter, Freedom. Now win the football game, Freedom. Win the football game.
And for PAC, you just have to play, keep away, hold that ball, make sure no fumbles, no penalties. Just keep that clock running all the way to the end and run away with the game.
And a shout out to all 100 of you watching for this one. You're catching one of the better games of this slate of Black Bear Brawls. Certainly, I see our colleague Alex Chasen. Sure, we'll have him down in Florida for state championships later on. We were talking about, we're not sure if he's here in stadium or if he's watching, but Joey Carr, one of the most faithful and we'll say outspoken Freedom Cowboys fans. He always comes up and says hello to us before the game and saying that it's not his goal to be picked up on in the broadcast, but it ends up that way. As the PAC Panthers will pick up the ball at about the 17. This is a return by Evan Watt, the sophomore. Got a couple of spins. The ball's out. Ball is out. It looked like it was looser a little bit, and Evan Watt kept it on. Looked like it was almost loose there, and PAC Panthers will try to get something going here. But anyways, to finish on that, Joey Carr usually has been a very faithful fan for the Freedom Cowboys. He had a reverse total shoulder replacement on his left shoulder, and to our knowledge, I do not believe he is here in stadium because usually Brendan has mentioned he always comes up and says hi to us when we walk around. If he's here, he can't hear us, but if he's watching, Joey, we're thinking about you. I'm sure we'll see you at other Freedom Cowboy games since you had that replacement fairly recently on July 25th, 26th, around that area. So wouldn't blame you if you're staying home in full recovery and watching this one.
You're well soon, brother. Your team needs you for sure. They need to hear you.
I'm sure we can hear him shouting at the TV. Big stop and big tackle there. You could tell the offensive lineman and Brendan Daniel love that one.
Yeah, it's good hole and good running, but boy, that hit, I'll tell you what, it's kind of hard to get back from if you take a hit like that.
His name is Logan Byers, and he's coming for your lunch. Attaboy, Logan Byers.
Sad thing is we still got leftover boxes of lunches up here, so I don't want him anywhere near the press box.
Don't touch
you
my
can have
apple.
mine.
Please don't touch my apple.
You still have an apple up here?
Hey, brother, that's the only way I'm going to survive.
Oh, yeah. You still got shade down there?
No, the shade is gone unless I fall back.
Well, we got some waters for you, brother. Here's a carry right side, Patrick Bennett. gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. Freedom Cowboys stopping again. 3:50 left to go in the game and winding down, trying to conserve their timeouts as much as possible.
This is it. This is the play. This is the game. Third down and manageable. You have to get a stop here. You have no choice if you're PAC but to punt it. Okay, you got to punt it. You're going to try to pin Freedom deep. The clock is still running with 3:30 left. You have to get a stop here to make a punt to force Freedom back to drive the whole length of the field. So if you're Freedom, you need a sack, you need a turnover, you need something to set yourself up in good field position.
I'm not that Elijah's right. Believe everything Coach Eli says, y'all.
Come on, lose yourself, Freedom, lose yourself. Get to the quarterback, come on.
3rd and 5, keeper for Barkley on the left side. He's got some space on the stiff arm. He'll be stopped short, maybe short of the first down. They might give it to him.
They're giving it to him.
They're going to give him the first down and a new set of downs for the PAC Panthers.
All right, and if you're Freedom now, you got to start using your timeouts. You're going to have to.
An update for you as well. So Joey Carr did give us an update. Here's Freedom using their first timeout with 2:51 left to go. So Joey actually gave us an update. He's Dr. Joey Carr. He was a chaplain in the United States Army and appreciates the shout out. He said he's at home and cheering. He said, I had to fuss at my wife for not picking up my slack. So 2:51 left to go. Freedom uses their first timeout of this second half and trying to conserve on since they couldn't get the 2-point conversion on their first 2 scores. And especially because they don't have a field goal kicker, a touchdown is all that's going to save them at this point.
Yeah, a touchdown is all that's going to save them. You're going to have to burn all your timeouts unless you get a turnover. You're going to have to use all your timeouts to potentially get the ball back. But then you won't have any timeouts. You're going to have to march down the field real quick. They've been struggling throwing the football on offense. PAC has not. PAC has been able to complete their passes. So, Brendan, what do you got?
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to hold on to that ball like my firstborn child, boy. I ain't going to give it up. I saw onto that ball, run that clock out, and just get that dub. You got literally 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. That's nothing to worry about. You can run that down.
2 timeouts left for the Freedom Cowboys, 1 for the PAC Panthers. You know, we were thinking earlier that this was a one-sided matchup and that, well, how's the rest of the day going to go if it's like this? This match has started living up to the hype.
Yeah, it definitely started living up to the hype. We were talking last night. We said it could go one way or the other. And that's what we're getting at. Looks like PAC has the momentum right now, but you never count out the Freedom Cowboys. You never, ever, ever count out the Freedom Cowboys. I've played them twice. I've coached against them twice. You never count them out.
1st and 10, another keeper up the middle. Looked like Yeomans on the carry, gets up to the 44-yard line and another timeout. And that's a Freedom Cowboys burning their second timeout. Keeps it there at 2:42 left to go in the game.
Yeah, so if you're Freedom, you need to stop here. You need to get them the 3rd down to potentially get a chance at the football. But if you get the first down on this one, game's probably over. So Freedom, you got to rise up here. PAC, they've been able to march it down the field all day. So the heat's getting to you. You got battle scars. You've been at war all day. It's time to rise up.
If I'm PAC, I might throw a little pass play right here. Just throw the defense off and surprise them just to get that first down to end the game. As soon as you catch that ball, pull a Tyler Lockett, just fall down.
Maybe a little trick play here, Brendan. Maybe a little McNulty pass.
That's what I'm thinking. If they do that, then that's for sure first down, and that's all you need unless you get the score. But I wouldn't want to score against this Freedom Cowboy team because we've all seen they come back.
East Central has the game in essence locked up. 1:06 left to go in the 4th quarter, leading 28-0 against Harvest Christian on that lower field. So James, Blake, and Theodore will have a little bit of a break as, who knows, they might slip up here to the booth or watch the rest of this action.
They're bringing the house. Here comes Logan.
2nd and 8. Briar's another keeper up the middle. There's an opening. There goes Kyler Barkley. He's got a first down, and that will likely seal the outcome of the game, but he stepped out of bounds.
Oh, that was a bad move. If you're going to go out, just kneel down, slide, do something. Don't go out of bounds. That stops the clock. Now you have a problem.
Stops the clock, and I believe Freedom has one more timeout left.
Yes, one timeout.
They have one timeout left. So if you're able to get a stop here or get a turnover here, then you're cooking. But let's see what PAC comes up with.
And a 1st and 10 on the 34-yard line. Here goes another carry up the middle. Spinning his way through is Sean McNulty up to another 1st down, and that's going to essentially wrap up the game.
Yep, that's ball game.
Shout out to the PAC Panthers O-line. They've been doing the job. They've been making the hole for their runners, and those runners have been taking advantage of those holes and getting those runs and getting the 1st down and do what they're supposed to do.
We got 2:18 left to go in this contest, 14-12. Freedom Cowboys are definitely thinking about those two-point conversions that they could not lock up. And the collision of the respective conference champions is going to go in favor to the PAC Panthers.
And I could.
Am I off? Okay.
Likely because of the action he's had and how many scores he had, probably Sean McNulty is like the one for MVP candidate on the PAC side. Unless now if Freedom has a miracle here, who from the Freedom Cowboys you think gets MVP? That's why I ask you.
What want Eli to say? He's been hyping him up all game, so why not let Eli get his little chance?
If Freedom somehow in a miracle wins this, who's their MVP?
Logan Bryars.
You know, Ryers.
Logan Bryars.
But more than likely Sean McNulty for the PAC Panthers after this one.
You could go McNulty. You could go Jance Lamb. You could go either one of those.
There's Barkley on another carry up the middle for a couple of yards. Again, they can't. The PAC Panthers have one timeout. They're the only ones left who could stop the clock. But in essence, I believe they could do victory formation all the way out.
Yeah, I would at least get it down to a minute 20 before you go to victory formation.
Well, this game about to go final, 28-0. The final score. Harvest Christian getting shut out against East Central, and definitely not a shutout in this one. Looked that way for the better of 3.5 quarters, and now we got victory formation for the PAC Panthers. They're gonna wind it down here, knee it out a couple more times.
Yeah, just knee it out probably one more time, and then the clock's not running.
Yeah, the clock isn't running on the knee down.
They've been running it all game, but when
it was. No, you're right. It was running several times when it shouldn't have, and then when it's knee down on the kneel.
Someone's working for the Cowboys.
I'll take it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Reminder again at 4 p.m. Eastern, Arundel Parrott Academy against the Evangel Lightning, and the Anderson Cavaliers against the Cabrera Stallions, both at 4 o'clock Eastern. Those games will kick off shortly, and then 7 p.m. Eastern, Virginia Spartans and Georgia Force as the headliner game for the Black Bear Brawls. And wind it down to the final 30 seconds, well, 35, and the PAC Panthers had a little bit of leeway they gave to the Freedom Cowboys, and the Freedom tried to fight back. They tried to get it to a tie, couldn't get one out of two-point conversions, and the runner-up for the national championship last year still showing that they are doing fairly well in high school 8-man football. Final score, the PAC Panthers 14, Freedom Cowboys 12. From the main field here, Arundel Parrott Academy and the Evangel Lightning coming up next for Eli Cornett and Brendan Daniel, all the hardworking men and women that make this run so smoothly. I'm Spencer Tomsett saying so long from Gatlinburg. We'll see you for the remaining games of the Black Bear Brawls, but the PAC Panthers get it done against the Freedom Cowboys.